Hello, it's Sam from Sound on Sound magazine. I'm at the NAMM show in Anaheim, California, and I'm with Jared from Audio Design Desk. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You're looking remarkably cheerful and well for the third day of the show.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, it's been an exciting NAMM so far. Showing this off has just been incredible, seeing all the reactions out here. So.
Yeah, because I think Audio Design Desk will be a new name to a lot of people. It's a new name to me. What is it that you make?
So Audio Design Desk is a brand new DAW that we built from the ground up using the modern advancements of AI and machine learning to help us identify the sounds and then place the sounds in sync with video footage very fast.
So it's a digital audio workstation program expressly designed for people who need to do sound for picture.
Yes, and any sort of sound for picture. So sound design, Foley, and even film scoring.
Excellent. So explain a little bit how it works then.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this example, let's move this a little, but let's just say that our video editor just sent us a finished cut of this fight scene from the film Sleepy Hollow, and we're ready to add some sound design to it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring in that video footage here into our software. And Audio Design Desk instantly noticed, hey, your video editor and the video editing software left some markers to themselves saying, let's start with an ambience nighttime, or let's add a transition here, or a rise there. Now, in any other DAW, we can just bring those in as comment markers, but in Audio Design Desk, we can select audio, and we'll go ahead and populate the entire timeline here with audio related to what was written in those markers. And that's part of the AI, the sonic intelligence that we created. So we taught it what sounds are. Instead of just bringing in an audio file and saying that's a waveform, this one says those are footsteps, that's a drum beat, those are sword clashes. That allows it to then go back through, trim them up, split them up into elements if need be, as well as to add sync markers to them where you want it to line up with that cut. So like this rise file we have right here, for instance, it knows that you're building up to that frame. That's why the sync marker is at the very end. Transitions, it puts that sync marker in the center because you're moving from one frame to another, and then hits are generally at the beginning because you're emphasizing that frame. And we've applied that to music cues as well as Foley and sound effects.
Amazing. So where is it getting these sounds from?
So great question. All of these sounds are from our personal library of a little over 50,000 sounds. I wouldn't be surprised if we're closer to 80,000 by the end of the year because we're constantly releasing new sounds every single week. And then even if you have your own sound libraries, it's very easy to go into our importer, drag them in. We have a machine learning element that will do most of the tagging on those sounds for you. You might have to clean up a little bit here or there, but the great thing about machine learning is the more you clean it up, the smarter it gets for the next time, and then it gets even closer and closer to 100% correct, and then you can start using all of your own sounds in conjunction with all of ours.
And these are royalty-free sounds, are they?
Yes, completely royalty-free because we make them all in-house.
Amazing. So what's the next step if you want to refine what the AI has done for you?
Yes, so if we didn't like this, do you want to listen to it first? Let's see how
let's do it.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's just stop it there. It's all right, it's not quite intense enough. This is a very intense fight scene. Someone dies at the end of it, so we don't want these lighter effects. We want to really build up to that horror moment. So first thing I want to do is I want to change this rise. And I like to use our magic marker to do that, which I can simply bring up. And I could select, go down the list and find other rises very similar to the one that was placed. Or I can go to my genres, specify horror, select intensities 5 and 4. Then I could find a rise here. We could preview it. We could say, great, that's the rise I want. I press return, and it's now in my timeline. And again, because our system knows the difference between these sounds, it's very easy to replace them. Like this transition, if I wanted to replace it, I select it, press Command R, I've got a new one in that place. And I can keep replacing and replacing and replacing until I find something I like. Or again, we can get more specific. Say this entire project is a horror film that's very intense, which we know it is. So we could select horror in our replace windows as well as intensities 5 and 4. And then I can go through, select all of my sound design elements, press Command R, and now I have an intense horror sound design pass ready to go. So we can play through this, and I'm going to use some hotkeys to set some quick mixing levels, and then I might have to replace an individual region here or there. All right, maybe that last one we went a little bit louder, but overall that was a much better sound design pass for this specific scene. I think it's doing really well. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go on to the Foley. Now, if you've done any of your own Foley outside of a Foley recording studio, you know, like in the case of footsteps, you have to go first find all those footsteps, then you have to drag them in, then you have to cut them up into elements, and then you have to manually sync it. If you don't like it, you delete it, you start over. It costs you hours, if not days of time. But we've created this trigger system down here on the left side. And in the trigger system, we have 1 through 0. That's actually going to be the 1 through 0 keys at the top of my keyboard when we get back to that. But with these triggers, I selected trigger 6. I dragged a bunch of individual sword clashes onto that trigger. That means when I go into my timeline and I press the 6 key, I get a sword clash placed right there at that moment in the timeline. So now I can go back, scrub through my video, and right where they clash swords here, I can press 6 for my sword clash, 4 for my sword whoosh, and 5 for the guys grunting. That's already a significantly faster way of adding Foley than anything we've been doing in the past. But the great thing about Audio Design Desk is we're all about speed. So we can do this even faster because with a little bit of practice, you can actually create and perform all of your Foley in real time just by pressing the number keys at the top of your keyboard. Great.
Impressive.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad you're actually here to, say that I actually did this.
Yeah, I saw
most
it with
people
my
have to
own
come back
fingers.
around and see it all again. So we've got credibility here for this. But you know what? We're going to be honest. Maybe that's not 100% right off the bat. But we have this content-aware timeline that understands the difference between all the sounds. So one of the things I noticed is that the sword clashes and whooshes were a little loud. I can go to my select dropdown, go to subtype, select sword hit sword, and now we can just press shift down 3 times. All of my sword clashes throughout the project are down 3 decibels. And we can do the same with sword whooshes. I can bring those down to -8. And I could even say the vocalizations were a little loud. And then we can bring those down just a couple more. And now we've got a light mix with all of our Foley, as well as the light mix with our sound design. And we're ready to add some music to tie it all together. So just like everything else, music is simple. It's a simple key. We press Z, and I've got music that I can now audition and replace in real time with my video clip. And you know, maybe we find a stock cue that we like, one of our in-house stock cues. But since this is a major motion picture, we want to create an original score for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep it horror, we're going to keep it intense. We're also going to say we want the music to be cinematic, and we want it to be organic as well. Now we can bring up our trigger pad, where we have beat, bass, chord, line, lead, all the essential elements of music you could ask for. And we're going to start with the beat and see what it gives us. And maybe we bring this up a little bit in the mix. And that one sounds pretty good. I think we can keep that. Maybe let's also add some percussion over the top of it. I like that. Let's add some more percussion. Okay, all right. I think this is coming together really well. Instantly, I had this whole percussion section built out for me. And you notice that it all stayed in time with each other as I was bringing it in. And that's because we are actually time stretching, as well as we will pitch shift any music region or just any region in general that has BPM metadata or tonality metadata to match each other based on the global setting. So I have it set to 140 BPM. Let's go ahead and set the key to A. Most likely it'll come in A minor since it's a horror scene. And now any sort of music region will automatically be stretched, even though like these drums were originally recorded at 90 BPM. They're being stretched that far, and it's very clean still. So let's go ahead, add some bass, and we can test this. Nah, maybe not that one. I like the sound of that one, so let's go ahead, maybe add a line now to get some high-end orchestra. Okay, I think that's gonna work out really well. So let's just say now we wanna trim all of this music up to the rise, because that's right where we want the music to end at that big moment. We can unmute everything and we can go through, play it back and see how well it came out. Oh, let's also get this out of the way for you.
Very cool.
Awesome, thank you. Just like that. And then we're ready to export it right back out to our favorite DAW to finish mix and master, or we can send it back to any NLE to continue to edit or send it to your director as a first pass.
Well, really interesting concept, and it looks incredibly slick in action. So I'm sure that's going to save a lot of people a lot of time.
Tons of time. Yeah, this clip alone, I would say it would probably take me like a day and a half to do in the traditional way. And we just did it like, what, under 10 minutes right here while explaining it. So it's tons of time saved.
Amazing. So is this out now?
This is. We've actually been out for like 2 years, but unfortunately we came out just as the pandemic started, so a lot of people are just now learning about us. But you can find us at our website, add.app. There is a free trial there if you want to get started. And we actually have a couple different models for purchasing. So we have a perpetual model that comes with all the updates. It is a perpetual license, and that's $600 for the professional version. Professional version means it is completely royalty free. There's a personal version, so if you're just like a YouTuber that's not monetizing videos, or if you're just doing like shooting like wedding videos that you want to add fun sound design to or stock music to, you can get that version for just $300 for the perpetual. There's also a subscription version that's $300 a year for the professional, and then $30 a month for the professional.
Impressive. Well, thanks, Jared. That was really eye-opening.
All right, thank you. Thanks
Great to meet you.
Yeah.